structured query language server. You can get it from here, and then you can learn with sample data. This is what we are going to be using today, okay? And then you can get data from other sources like Google Sheet and other platforms that you are connected with. So today, I'm going to be running you through a very interesting series so far as Power BI is concerned. And there are other amazing options that we're going to be using in the future. So today we are going to be using this data here, learn with sample data. So I'm going to click. So you see that once I click, it says 2 ways to use sample data. Take a tutorial online, learn how to create a robust report step by step. So you can launch a tutorial here and you start learning on your comfort zone, on your own. Experiment on your own. To start creating visuals on your own, load sample data. So here I'm going to choose load, okay? So I'm going to choose load. So today the objective is for us to look at how you can create a report quarterly, okay? And we are going to be seeing how we can play around with our reports into Power Query, okay? And remember that the Power Query that we are going to be using here is the same Power Query we have in Excel. So we have launched our data, we have loaded our data. So what is happening here? When you are at this level, you see that the load button and transform data will be off. So you have to come here and choose. So it shows that these two sheets are coming from this folder. So I can click like this and I lost that folders. I can click like this and I bring it on, and then I select the sheet I want to bring in. It's called financials. So this is the sheet that Power BI has given as a sample sheet for data analysis. So it means that Power BI has thought carefully, looking around the markets of data analysis, and they have understood that if you use this data, you are going to be working around with any data that you find in any company in the world, okay? And these are the common data that we are going to be finding. So I've selected financials, and now our data is being previewed here for us. So we can see the columns and the rows here. So now I can load this data exactly, and it goes into the Power BI desktop and we start analyzing. I can transform this data. So I want us to transform this data. Now, once we click that, it takes us now to the Power Query. This is another area of Power BI. It is also found in Excel. It's called Power Query Editor, okay? It's amazing. So here, it allows us to analyze our data and clean a lot of things and adjust the way we want, okay? If I take this down, you see that it disappears. We have our Power BI desktop interface here. So when we finish with Power Query here, we are going to launch it and it will fit the data inside the Power BI desktop. The Power BI desktop is a free version. The Power BI service is another version which we are going to be looking at in some days ahead, showing you how we can create reports and launch that report into dashboards online where you can share to anyone to view it. So right here, this is our Power Query. There is something I want us to look here. Let me make this big. So right here, you see that we have column for segments, we have column for countries. As I click those columns, you see that it already shows an analysis here. So you can have a glance of your data just by clicking at each column. So Power BI tells you what is on the column, the uniqueness of that data. So you have low, known, medium, and high. And then here we can also click here, and then it gives us the uniqueness. It shows us this different uniqueness. But of course, I just wanted to go through this data and see something here. Each time you load your data into Power Query, there are some common errors that you'll find, okay? Though they are not here, but you'll find common errors. Remember that this column, because this column is talking of text, there are different data types that you must understand when you analyze data, whether with SQL, whether with R, whether with Python, etc. You have data types that you must understand. So there is text, there is numbers, there is float, which talks about money. So I'll just come here and show you what I mean. If I select this column, okay, and I right click, there are some options that will appear here. I'll go to change type, data type. You see that these are the different data type: decimal number, fixed decimal number, whole number, percentages, date and time, date and time and time zone, duration, text, true or false, binary, using location. So these are the different data types. So this data type that we are on now is text. It is text because it is written in text. You can see France, Germany, they are written in text. The other data type that we have here is numbers. So to show you, you find out that there's a number here, 1, 2, 3, showing that this data type is numbers. Okay. Another one that we'll see here where we are just coming from is ABC. It shows that it is text. Sometimes when you bring in your data type, your data in, it will automatically move from this text to numbers, to whole numbers like this. Okay, so it says replace current. I want to create an error. You see that there's an error here now. Okay, there's an error here because this data type was supposed to be ABC, not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because it is text that is supposed to be here. That is why it's giving me error. Now that I have made this error intentionally, I can change this error by just going by my site here. You see, there's a small button. It says change data type. It means that this is an action that I just took. So I can just delete this action, and then this data will come back to normal. Now there's still another error that you have seen here. It shows that all the data are having ABC123, ABC123, which is still an error. So if I click delete that navigation there, you see that it shows an error again. Okay, and what I'm going to do here now is very, very simple. I'll simply now go back. This is something that you must understand when you deal with data set. So I'm going to be looking for, there is an option here that says go back, that says undo. So I have deleted the whole data source here. This is another error that you can find in your data. So when this happens, what are you going to do? It's very, very simple. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll simply go back to my transform here. Now I'll go to home, and then I come to, also it says new source here. You see now, these are other sources where you can bring data in from your system. So remember that originally we were using data within this system. So I have intentionally clicked that to delete this data away, and now we don't have any data here again. So what we have to do now is we will relaunch this back, and then we go again, and then we get the data. Why did I come here? I want us to go back originally and show you how I launched my data. So do you want to apply changes? No. So this is my Power BI desktop. So again, I want to delete all this. Don't save. I'll come here now down to my system, and I write Power BI. So it's in my system, and I launch. So now that I have launched, you see that it is opening up, right? So some people might be asking, how did I launch my Power BI? So it's this simple. So now I have just launched my Power BI. You see, so this is how I got here. Okay, this is how I got here. I'll just come back in and I say get data from other source and learn with sample data. We will not talk too much again because we have already gone through that. So this is how I got here, right, guys? So I'll just click load data, load sample data. We had already discussed about this. I'll preview my data, then I say transform data. Then I come back here. You see that I'm right here now, right? So I'm here now. Sample data. This is what we are going to do. So here now, we'll go straight to the point. I had already shown you some small errors. So if I come here now and I say change type, and I come here and I click this navigation, it will remove all this data out from here. Okay, so we are not going to label ourselves on that. So here you already understood what it means by number, what it means by ABC, and what it means by 1, 2, 3. So now, and also 1.2 means this one is talking about sales. So it's talking about money. So money has 0.5 francs and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here there is something I want to show you here. So this is our date here, and this date, you see that month number, month name, year have been extracted from this date. This is what I want to show you. How did this happen? What I'm going to do is I'll right click here and then I duplicate the column. So I have duplicated this column now. So we have two date column. Now this is the first date column. This is the second date column. I want to show you how this month number and this month name was extracted. Okay. So I'm going to click any of these dates column and then I come to transform data here and I come to date. The date will be on and I click. And when I come to this date, you see that if I want to transform this to month name, I'll come to this month and I say end of month, days of month, name of month, and I click. You see what happened? It automatically changes this to the month name. How did it do it? It simply came to this date and then extract the month. Okay, it identifies the month in the data, extract that month, and then give us the name of the month. You see? So here now I can delete this month name, this one that we had previously. So now we have the one that we just made, and there is the name there called data/copy. I'll just double click. When I double click, I'll put month name. So I'm also teaching you how to change the names on that level at that end there. You see what we have done here? So another thing I want to remove here is month number. Okay, I'll come again here, I right click, I will duplicate this particular sheet here, this particular column here again. And remember that once I select this, I come to transform and then I come to date here and I click my date. Now I want the month number. So I'll come to month and it says start month, end month, days in month, name of month. So come again to day here, days, end of month, name of day. Okay, I want to come to month. Okay, month. This is the month. This is the start of month, end of month, days in month, and name of month. So I want us to just click month. You see that when I click month, it gives me the name of the month. Okay, it tells me that the month was January, the other one was January, the 6th month is January, February, March, April, May, June, and that is how it goes. Okay, you see that is the same data that we have here. So come here now and I delete this one. I just wanted to show you, I want us to go over it again. So I show you how they manage to remove the month name and the month number. So I'll double click here again and then I say month number. So we are in Power Query in Power BI, guys. So this is how you analyze your data within the Power Query in Power BI. So you first of all have to do all this here, clean it properly before you push it into the Power BI desktop and start creating visuals. So right here now, what we are seeing here is amazing. What we are simply seeing here now is that we have designed a month name and month number. So we want to come again to this date, right click, duplicate again, and then we come to what we have duplicated here, come again to date. Now we want to get the year. You see now, so we can say year, start of year, end of year. So we'll just click year and the data analyzes the year automatically. It just cleans all the month and the day and then keeps us the year. You see that that is the same thing we had here, right? So come again to this data here and then I remove and then I come to this copy here, I double click and then I say year. So you see that we have been able to extract our month name, month number, and year from this date. So this is what Power BI did. Remember, we uploaded this data just like that, and we already saw the month name, month number, and year. Okay. We can also do it. Someone is asking, what about the day? We can also do it for day. Okay. I can come here and I duplicate again that column, and then I come again to my date up here. Remember, we are using this date option here, and I come to the day, right? Day of week, day of year, and all that, name of day, and I click. And that is it. We have Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, and all that. Okay. And then I can double click now and I put name of days. Okay. And that is it. Now, there is no need for this date. I'll just come here and I remove this date. Now our data is set to go. Now you can still do this if you're dealing with development data like humanitarian data where you have number of boys, number of girls, and there is a particular date that those data came in, and you like to analyze to see what is happening on Monday, Tuesday, or what is happening in January, February, March. So now our data is okay. Now there's another thing you can do. If I come to add column here, okay, and I say custom column and I click, sorry, I have to select. Are you getting now? So I want to add a column. And before we add this column, I want to show you a small logic here. The idea here is simple. Here we have gross sales, sales price. Okay, we have manufacturing price. So what they have used to manufacture and what they used to sell is different. So it means that they use 3 francs to manufacture. Let's say it's francs we are using, and then they sold it 20 francs. So there's a profit they are making here, right? And then unit sold, and this is the amount of unit they sold. It means that if we want to get a cost, we will simply say this unit that was sold times the manufacturer price. We get the cost price. That's the price that was used to design that product. And then we want to get the selling price now. We will now take this 20 francs, which is per product, times this, we'll get the selling price. And then to get the profit, we'll take the cost price, the selling price minus the cost price. Okay? I think we all agree on that. That's a simple logic, a very simple logic that we can do right now. That's what we want to do. So to add a column here, I'll just go to custom column. And then I come now to my unit sold and I insert. Okay? So my unit sold times unit sold times selling price. Okay? No, times the cost price. Unit sold times the cost price. How much was used to, let me see, gross sales, sales price, manufacturing price. And I put in. Are you seeing now? So now I can come here and say cost price. Just put cost price. We'll just do this for once, okay? So I'm just showing you how you can add your data. Now we are dealing with price and we are seeing A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, which is wrong. We are not dealing with units sold. We have already taken units sold times the manufacturing price. So what we are trying to look at is the price that was used to manufacture each of those products, right? So here now we'll right click, come to data, change data type, and then we come now to what? Decimal numbers, because we are dealing with price. So it gives us 1.2 cost price. Okay, I just wanted to do this to show you how these other columns they came about. Okay, so now I want us to delete this and then we remove that. And then after having done that, I think that you have had a small caption of how this was done. Another thing I want to show you into Power Query is that let's say you are dealing with too many columns here, okay? Too many columns, just too many columns. And there are some particular columns I want us to analyze, okay? I just want us to look at what is happening per the month, okay? Profit per month, and then profit per segment, profit per country, and profit per product. That's what I want us to look at when we push this data into our desktop, Power BI desktop. So what we are going to do is simple. We'll come here to transform, okay? And when we come to transform, we'll go to home. What I'm looking at, I want to choose a particular column. So I'll click here. Choose a column, I click. So when I choose this, you see, it brings all my column to me. It shows me all my column into Power BI query. Are you seeing now? It shows all my column. I can unselect now and I choose specific columns that I want to analyze. This is very important because it makes your data, it makes your work very, very exciting. It makes your work easy. It makes your work entertaining. It makes your work exciting. It makes you want to analyze data every time because there is a strategy you have that makes you not to be overwhelmed. Let's say your company has called you and say, hey, we would like to get the profit by segment, by country, you click, by product, you click, and then just come here, select profit. Where is the profit? you click. And maybe we want to get by month name, you click. And maybe we want to get by year, you click. You see now. And then you click OK. The reason I'm bringing this because many times when we analyze data, you enter into companies, they might have more than 100 columns. Okay, the company might be getting data from 100 different items. Here you have customer names, you have customer ID, you have customer location. All those things might be choked up in your data. How can you analyze without being overwhelmed? So once you bring it into Power BI, this is one of the ways you can use to clean your data and make it so easy for you. So now that we have chosen this, the next thing we want to go, you can also remove column from here. Okay, you can also remove rows and all that. We'll be looking at that in other video. Okay, now we are going to go to close and apply. So we want to close and then apply what we have, the changes we have made. So we are going to give Power BI some time. You see, Power BI is loading. This is one thing I love about Power BI. It takes its time, load the data, make sure that everything is in place. It's loading the data. You have to wait. You have to be patient. It loads it. So now we want to create visuals. So I want you to really pay attention now that we are creating visuals. We are not really going to pay a lot of attention creating some really that cashy visuals and all that. There is a way you can do your visuals even better than me, okay? But one thing that I want you to know is that when you are doing visuals, I want you to pay attention. Now that we have loaded the data here, you might be asking, where is the data? The data is somewhere. It's right here. This is the data. Okay, here is data. So I can close this up. I can also close this up. You see that I've closed everything. You can't see anything here, right? We have the Power BI desktop mobile interface. This is it. I've just clicked on it and we have the desktop interface. Okay, these are the two interfaces. When you look down here, you see it. The phone interface and the desktop. We are going to be using the desktop interface today, right? And then I can open these spaces here. I can open all these spaces here because here now you have my visuals. These are my visuals. And then here you have my data. This is where when you load your data, it appears. Remember, we chose just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Okay, we choose country, month name, product, profit, segment, and the year. This is what we chose, right? And then right here, these visuals, I always tell people when you analyze data, you don't need to go to one big school. Thank God for the schools to get certifications and all that is very good because I also do that online a lot, especially with Great Learning. What you have to do is learn to practice. Each visual has a name. You have the stack bar chart, you have the stack column chart, you have the clustered bar chart, you have the clustered column chart, you have the 100% stack bar chart, you have the stack bar chart 100% as well, you have the line chart, you have the area chart, you have the stack area chart, you have the 100% stack area chart, you have the line and stack column chart combined, you also have the line and cluster column chart combined, and then so on and so forth. You have the Robin chart, you have the waterfall chart, you have the funnel chart, you have the scatter chart, you have the pie chart, you have the donut chart, and so on and so forth. So by using these things regularly, you automatically master all these visuals. You don't need to go to any school where they teach visuals, okay? You just need to be practicing. Okay, so here we are. So the first thing I want us to do here is you must understand the different interfaces. These are the different interfaces of Power BI. Different styles that you have, the different styles that you have, okay? You can design your own styles and bring it in, but these are the different styles. Take note of this. So when we analyze our data, we can come here and choose a style. You see how it will change. Another thing I want you to look at is right here you have the report view. This is the report view where we are. And then right here now you have the table view. This is where our tables are, okay? This is our table here. So it shows us the number of columns we have brought in. The other area we have is a model view. So right here is where you create relationships. We are going to be looking at this in other video, okay? This is so exciting. These are relationships. So we have another table here where we wanted to create relationships within these two tables, and then you see it here. If we look at SQL, there is the right relationship, right, left, right, and all that. So we'll be discussing about that. For instance, we have another table where the data is related to here. Maybe the customer name was in that other table, and there's another column that is common with this column that has a relationship with this other column here. We'll use both columns and connect such that when I choose the name of the customer in the other table, then it picks the information of that customer in this other table. That's how it works. Okay, it's like husband and wife, right? If you hold your husband's hand, the wife holds the husband's hand. You people are one. So if I want to take something from the husband, the wife can give me because the wife knows the husband. If I want to take something from the husband can also give me because the husband knows the wife. That is how simple I explain it. The next thing that they have added is dark query preview. Okay, this is something that they have added here. We're also going to be looking at this. They have the DMLD preview as well. Okay, you can try now. I don't want to try now. So let's go back to our report view. So right here, it's very simple, guys. The first thing we're going to do is just click country. Once you click country, this is what happens. This item appears here, and then your country also appears a location. It shows that it is location, right, by default. And then under here you have legend, you have latitude, you have longitude, you have Bobby size, you have toolkit. We'll be looking at that in some other video. But here now, Power BI is already signaling, it's already sensing that you might want to look at locations. That is why when I choose country, automatically you see that location came up, and then you automatically went and took a map, and then you were looking at latitude and longitude. We'll be looking at this in another video, how to use longitude and latitude to create maps and show your different regions and see what's happening. But for now, let's just move ahead. And then here now, I'll just go to profit. We want to look at profit per country. I have chosen my country and profit, but we still don't have anything here because the map and the field map visuals are the one that are chosen. They say they are disabled. So here, I'm going to choose a different visual. I can choose this. You see? So I have chosen our clustered column chart. There is one thing with Power BI. When you are analyzing data with Power BI, make sure that you are testing the different charts. Okay, especially when you are working in a company where you're analyzing data. It's your company, it's your desktop, it's your machine, it's your comfort zone, it's your private zone. Stay there, test things around. Be creative. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. Creative, test things around. Okay, because the moment you test, and don't be shy, don't be afraid. The moment you test things around, play around your visuals, that is how you become a pro to analyze data. Okay. Now I have chosen this country and profit, and then I went and chose a visual. I can choose another visual which is clustered bar chart. It gives me this option. I can come and choose another visual which is pie chart. It gives me this option. Depending on how you want to analyze your data, I can come and choose a map here. It gives me this option because this option does not fit with that map, because map goes with longitude and latitude. I can come here and choose my ribbon chart. It gives me this option. I can come here and choose my line chart. It gives me this option. You see now. I can come here again and choose my stack bar chart. It gives me this option. But now let me just choose my cluster chart. You see, this is here. So there's one thing I want you to know. Now that this chart is selected, you see that under here we have country under X axis. This is our X axis, and sum of profit under Y axis. But there is something that we don't have here. We see legend option here. So if I take profit, if I want to give a legend by profit, okay, I can come under here to legend and I give. You see that it makes my chart crazy, right? It means this is not good for my chart. I'll delete this. Please, this is how you use Power BI. If I come to country and I want to do my legend by country, I click. You see that it gives my legend by country. What is legend? Legend is simply this option that are appearing up here. You see these different options that are appearing up here. So you have France, Germany, Canada, United States, America, Mexico. Okay, and it shows that France has the greatest profit, was made in France. The second was Germany. Third was Canada, US, and then Mexico. Okay, but again, look at this data set. If I come now and I change my visuals now, and then I still bring my country again under my legend, you see it still give me the same. So you now choose, do you want us to put legend, or do you want us to leave it like this? For me, I'll prefer that we leave it like this. It already shows us clearly what is happening. That's the first thing you must know. Also, the next thing you have to know is once you are clicked in your visual, make sure that you come here to this option. Here is add data to your visual, and then here now is format your visual. Once you click this option here, you will find two options that appear, the visual itself and the general. So on the visual here, the x-axis will be dealing with this area and the y-axis will be dealing with this other area. Okay, and if you come under here, you will find the grid lines. You come on, you find the zoom slicer, the columns, and then the data labels. So if I put the data labels on, you see that my data labels are on. These are them here. We have 3.7 million, 3.8 million, 3.5 million, etc. And then if I come under this column here, sorry, under these data labels that I've put on, now I don't want this to appear like this, these data labels to appear like this. I want them to appear not in summary. So come under my data label and I click, and then it opens another option, and I began to go down careful. I'm looking for value. This is my value now, it's on, because the value relates to the data label. I'll click again under that value. I have another option again that is going up. So it's telling me that sum of profit is what is indicated in my value. So I'll come here now. If I want to make the values big, I can increase it from here. You see, they are now bigger because I put it to 20. If I want to make it small, I can bring it from here. Please, this is also the same with other visuals. So I want us to spend time here and really teach you how to navigate around visuals to create your visualizations. And then here I can make it bold. You see, I can also change the color from down here and put any color I like. You see, it changed to blue. I can still change and I put this color. It changed to this other color. You see? So this is how you use Power BI. I can make it transparent, guys. You see, I've made it transparent. So it's transparent. You see? So I can make it again open. Now, I have a way I want to display my units. I have a way that I want to display, like I told you, I don't want it to happen in summary. So if I come here and I click, it says, do you want it to appear in millions? Because now it's appearing in millions. Do you want it to appear in thousands or no? I'll click no. So you see? So now that I've clicked no, it now read my value to me. It says 3,781,020 francs or $20. Okay? This other one says 3,680,388.000. Are you seeing now? So if it appears like this, it makes our data dirty, right? So I'll better come here and say appear in millions. But if this data was in thousands, you come here and choose appear in thousands. Okay? If it was in billion, you do the same. If it was in trillion, you do the same. If it was custom, you custom. Okay, let's move. Value decimal places. So if I come here now, I can still come here again. After I've said that, it should be no. And I click. And then I come here and I reduce my decimal place to 0. Remember that we had many decimal places, right? Those were the decimal places. So I can come here and remove it to 0. And remember that each time you're analyzing data, it's always advisable to put your decimal places in 0. Or you come here and say in millions. So it summarizes the data in that level. Now, there is something that you have to see here. I can put my background on, and I also open up here and I try to change the colors. Let's see what happens. So it changed the background of the text itself. Okay? And this is how we move. And I can also make it transparent. You see? Make it thicker and I make it lighter. Okay? So, having said this, we can also go to our columns, because these shapes here are called columns. I can come here again and I change the color of that column, right? You see, it changes to red. I can still come here again and I change the color of that column back to blue, okay? And then if we go up here, the grid lines, these are grid lines. If you check my Power BI, you see there are some grid lines here, right? There are some grid lines. I'm just playing with my mouse and then making big and small. So there are some grid lines here. So I can come here and then I remove the grid because they are horizontally designed. I can remove it and I can put it on. Okay, and if I put it on, I can change the color of the grid line and put it to this color. So you see they change to a certain color. If you look closely, you see that they have changed to a certain color. And then I can come here again and then I put it to white, or I just remove the grid lines, right? So that is how we do it here, man. And then here now we have the x-axis and the y-axis. This is very interesting. If I come to my x-axis first, now this is my x-axis here. I can delete my values. You see, I have removed the values of my x-axis here, so they are no more. But of course, to make your data understandable, you don't need to remove your x-axis. You need to leave it there. So I'll keep my values. Instead, I'll come here and remove title, because the title is country here. So it shows that these are countries, so I'll remove my title. Now, there's one thing about visuals. What you are trying to do is to make your visual clean, so that when you send it to your management, they are able to see what you're doing and understand what you're doing, okay? And then now I've removed the title. The next thing I'll do here now is come here and look at the titles also. There's something you have to take note. So if I come under these values, I can also change it to bold, and I can also make it big. Remember, we are coming from data labels, right? We put it on, make it big, change the color, and do some changes, right? We are also here now under the values. So under each value, so under each data label, you would see a particular option that shows you maybe how to draw a line, maybe how to make it big, change the color, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm going to take it back to smaller text, and then, all right, please guys, we are not going to spend time to really make something beautiful here, just to show you how to use these options. Okay, and then I'll put that down. Now we are going now to why we are finished. We are remember that we are coming from, we are done with columns. We are just coming from data labels. Are you seeing now? We have done with x-axis. Now we are in y-axis. Okay, and then we go under there. It also has values and titles. Okay, so I would like to put the title on. So once I click, you see the title here is sum of profit. So once I put the titles off, it goes off. When I put the value off, it goes off. You see that these values, when they are here, they make our visual dirty, right? So we prefer to put it off. So once we put that off, we are good to go. Okay, and then now we have the range. We'll be talking about this in other videos. And then here now we are finished now with visuals. We want to go now to general. So while we are here, there is something I want to let you know. Just go to your titles. It's very, very important. So we want to change this title up here. So it's a sum of profit by country. I would like to just put profit by country, and I delete that sum of. You see, when I delete it from here, it also deletes around here. And then remember, it also gives us an option to make it bold, you see, and then an option to also make it big, you see, and then an option to also change the color, right, to make it blue. Okay, so this is how you walk around your Power BI. We also have some effects. These are some effects. So this one is background. I can come here and I change the background. You see, it changes all the background of my Power BI. I can stick of my visual, sorry. I can still come here and I go back to white, the default option. And of course, if you change this background to any color, make sure that and know that you can make it, you see, you can make it transparent, you can make it transparent, and you can make it thick. Okay, and I'll prefer to make it white. Okay, so we have been dealing with this particular visual, showing you some elements here, right? And then data formats. You can still come here again. It says country, okay, sum of profit country. So we prefer to put it a country. And there are other things here that will show you. Now, two tips is very important. You see that when I play with my mouse on my visuals, it tells me that this particular visual is country, Canada, sum of profit, and it gives me the sum of profit right now in full. Though in writing here, it is 3.5 million summary. But when I click around here, the 2p gives me the total. So this 2p is what is making that happen. So if I off this on and I bring this again, I stand with this off, you see that it's off. It doesn't show me that again, okay? You see, it doesn't show me that. So your 2p or your 2 tips are there to make this happen, okay? So now, having said that, we are almost closing. I don't want it to take more than 1 hour. So having created this particular visual, profit by country, you already see here that Germany, France is making highest profit, Germany second, Canada, etc. Now, if I click here again out of this visual, you see that everything goes back to normal. Okay, if I click here, everything goes back to normal. There's an item that used to appear here. If I click inside here, this other item automatically appears as a visual and general. Take note of that. If I click out, it disappears. Okay, so if I click out again and I come now and I take month name and profit, right? Perfect. You see that automatically, I love this. You see that automatically now it brings me to a small nice table. Okay, this table is coming either from this table or metrics. You see, either from the table or metric. That's why when I click, you see that it responds. Are you seeing now? Perfect. But now I want us to bring this in another kind of chart, the clustered bar chart. So I'll bring this here and I try to expand it, right? And I try to expand it like this. So you just have to be creative when you work with Power BI, especially women. If you're a woman, you are watching this, you guys know how to make things beautiful, play with colors, because when you analyze data, there is one thing that you must learn. You must learn to match colors, make it beautiful, not just make it well understood. Why it is well understood, but it should be beautiful and clean. You know, make it in such a way that people can read easily. So here we have October, December. So it is showing us here the profit by, So it is coming, it is showing us, it is sorting by the highest profit. Are you seeing now? Okay, so if I click in this visual, this comes on, and I click, and I still go back to my values under my y-axis, and I click my values. I want it to be there. My y-axis, I want it to be there. And then I want to bold it, but I want to remove the title because it says month name. And then I want to go also very quick under y-axis, I mean x-axis here. And I want to remove both the title and the value. Are you seeing now? And then I want to go very quick and put my data labels on. And then under my data labels, I want to kind of under values here, as we saw, I want to just make it bold and then make it a little bit bigger again. So here now, I just want to shift it a little bit, and then I want to run and then go to, let me first come and put this down so you see what I'm doing, so you don't get confused. So I want to put my x-axis down, and then option down as well. I want to go to general, and then I want to go to titles here, and I want to say profit by month. Okay, and then I want to make it bold, and then I also want to change the color, right? I want to change the color, and then I want to make it big. So when I make it bigger here, I just want to come and play around this, you see. So it's showing us the profit in order of preference or order of increase. It means the highest profit is in October, December follows, September follows, June follows, November, February, and so on and so forth. So if I come here, there's something I want to show you here. If I come to this three dot and I click, it says sort. You see now, it says sort by month name. And I click. You see that it has sort by month name. So give me September, October, November, January, February. Okay, so it sorts by month name. It means it takes the month that has the first alphabetic number or first alphabetic letter and then goes by that order. Okay, and then now I can sort by sum of profit. You see, so it gives me by profit. But companies always love to sort by sum of profit. If I come again and I want to sort by ascending order, so I turn it and it gives me by ascending order. So it starts from small and then increases. Okay, descending order means it stands for big and then decreases. So I can put my visual in any way I want, in such a way that my company will understand. So new visuals, okay, moving average, running sum, percentage, grand total, and so on and so on. So let's try running sum and see. You see, so it comes under here and says sum of profit, running sum, and it is already writing us. If I click enter here, let me see what happened. Running sum. So it's already writing us a DAX formula here. Anyway, I don't want us to go right deep into this. So it gives us a visual up here, and then under here, it tells us clearly what is actually happening here. So in March here, in March, let me see March, you see it tells us that this is what is happening in March. Okay, so 669,000, this is it here. But here it gives us 0.6, but here it gives us clearly what is happening in total. Okay, so this is the power of Power BI. So I can go back to the report. You see now. So what I did was click here, then come to this option. It says set up a verified answer, or it says new visual calculation. Okay, so percentage of parent, no, percentage of grand total. So I can click here, and then you see that it tries to bring me that percentage of grand total. Percentage of grand total, it says divided. I cannot see this very clearly. So what it's trying to do here is create a DAX formula, okay, to give us that percentage. Now, I don't want us to go into DAX or data analytics calculator. I don't want us to go to that, okay? I just want us to stay with these visuals so you don't get confused. We'll be doing another video just doing calculations, okay, showing you how to do calculations. I think we started in the Power Query, but we'll be showing you how to do calculations in this magnitude. And then here now, there is something called slicers, okay? So I want to slice this data by, so this is the last thing we'll be looking at. There's something called slicer. So I want to slice this data by the year. So I'll come here and I go to my visual and I choose my slicer. Okay, this is my slicer here. and then I'll choose year. So we have this data is for 2023, 2024, right? So we are going to be slicing as per 2023, 2024. So it means that if I click 2024, sorry, let me see, let me change this slicer immediately. So I am click on that slicer. If I come here, it says slicer setting. So I want to change the slicers. I want to make it tilt. Okay. So I've changed the setting. You see? So I can change my slicer to tilt. I can put it to drop down. Many times I put it to drop down if I want my slicer not to take a lot of space. Okay. I can put it somewhere here, and when you click down on your slicers, okay, slicers help you to filter. So if I want to know, let me make this bigger so I show you what slicer does. It's very, very important. Let me make this bigger. So if I make this visual very big, if I make it very, very big like this, okay, but often when I analyze data, I can put about 10 to 15 visuals in this small space, and it will still be very beautiful and very nice. Yeah. Okay. This now is for the purpose of learning. Okay. So right here now, if I come to this year and I click 2013, you see my data changes to 2013. So it gives me a caption of what is happening in 2013. So it tells me in December, this is what I sold in 2013. In September, this is what I sold. In November, this is what I sold. In October, this is what I sold. And it tells me that Germany in 2013, Germany, we made high profit in Germany. So if I come now and it says France, we made the second profit, and so on and so forth. If I come out to 214, it still tells me that we make profit more in France. Okay. So if you look at the profit we made in France in 2014 was 3.5 million. In Germany, the profit was just 1 million. That is why when we sum up both France and Germany, you see that France is the one that is having the highest profit. Okay. So this is how you can slice your data. If I come again to 213 or 214 here, it tells me different areas of the number of days, month, that profits were made. So it says December in 2014 we made more profit in December, and 2013 we instead made more profit in October. So this way you can begin to analyze your data, and your company can understand what is happening in each location per time, and it can begin to inform decisions based on what you're analyzing. Okay. And then here there is something that I want to also show you. Many times you'll be doing some lines within your data. If I turn this into PDF, it is going to be it's not going to look good. Okay. So many times I'll go to insert and I go to shapes and I select this small, you see this small line is very important. I use it a lot. And this line, I'm going to click on it and I go to Control C, Control V, copy and paste. So I turn it into two, I copy and I paste. So this line, when I click on it, I can come over here and then I go to rotation and then I rotate the line. I want to rotate it to 90 degrees, okay? 90 degrees. So 90 degrees, I'll have the correct line. So I'm right here, look at my mouse right here, 90 degrees. So I have 190 degrees and I have one that is flat. So here I'll select Control C, Control V, and then you see what I'm doing? So I want to create something like a border between my visuals, okay? So you can do this and then Control C, Control V, and then I also want to come here, create another border here. So when I analyze data, most often this is what I do, because I always transform my reports to PDF and I send to my team, and then they read it from there. It makes it so easy, and I put it inside Google Drive and I share the link with them so they can go from there and they check it. So you see, so this is my report. So I can do this as much as I want. You see, so I'm already creating something here very powerful, guys. You see, this is it. So here also I can double click, Control C, Control V. Now I have three of them. Bring them here. There's a lot we'll be doing with Power BI, a lot. Power BI is a very powerful tool for report writing. So I'm already writing a report, you see. And then, so I mean, I guess that you already know what I'm doing. You already catch it, okay? You already understand what I'm trying to do here, okay? Now, one of the last things I want to show you here now is that I want to show you how you can also write your titles, okay? How you can write every report has a title, right? So you can come up here and write a title. So up here, please don't mind me. I'm doing things haphazardly. I just want to show you the techniques, okay? We are not creating some beautiful dashboard here. I'm just showing you some techniques on how to do things around Power BI. So right here, we have what we call text box. If I click on my text box, you see that something appears already. Something already appeared here, okay? This text box always amazes me. So you see, so I have my text box here, okay? So if I start writing on it, you will see my write up here. So this is how I manage it. I'll take this part up. I'll always take this part up like this, and then I take this other part up, take this part up like this, and I bring this other part up. So all this area allows you to manage your text box, okay? So I'll write analysis, Power BI analysis. So you see there's a small text that I'm writing is appearing here, okay? So I can come here and make it bigger, to make it 18, you see? And then I make my text box open a little bit so you see what I'm doing, and I can manage it from here. Once I click here, you see it moves my text. I click here, it takes it to this end. I click here, it takes it to that end. So it works like Word document, right? Good. All a Microsoft product, they always try a way to bring the same ideology in their product, which makes it very, very exciting. So I can change the color of the text. Oh, they have improved this a lot. You see? So here, I can change the color of the text. Okay, I can make it bold. I can draw a line under my text. You see, I can do whatever I want to do. You see? So this option is also very nice. Okay, someone is asking, can we color the background? Yeah, we can color it. You can come from this area. Remember, once you click on a visual, automatically what you get here now are effects that that relate to that visual. So if I come here and I change the background, you see that it will turn. You see, it changed the background of it. You see, it changes the background of it. I can come here and I click there. It changes the background of it depending on how you want your things to look, right? And that is it, guys. We have designed the header of your stuff. So here again, we can still use these options, Control C, and we'll bring it up here, guys. And then you still draw this line around this your text box to make it beautiful. The reason I'm doing this is because when you turn this to PDF report, is going to, if you don't do this, it's going to make your report look very funny. Okay, so right here, there's one last thing I want to show you. There is something you call Q&A, right? Q&A. I've brought my Q&A in here. Q&A is very, very exciting, guys. So here, I'll just choose country. I'll just choose my count. I'll just come here and I choose country. Sorry. Okay, they want me to sign in. Power BI wants sign in for enhanced option. Okay, Power BI wants me to sign in. Okay, I need to use my work email. I'm not going to use that right now. But there is something I want to show. Okay, narrative. Perfect. This is what I was looking for. I got it. I hope Power BI will not ask me to sign in. So when I click, let me go to a different page, guys. Let me go to a different page. So I was here. Okay, let's go to a different page. I want to show you how narrative work. So narrative here allows you to analyze your report by just giving a narrative. So if I click my narrative on here, no summaries found, okay? And then I click select country. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to select, I want it to narrate. Okay, let me choose profit. I want Power BI to analyze me this profit narrative. Okay, I just hope that they are not telling me to sign in. Oh, they want me to sign in. Let me go to custom. I'm just trying to. We don't yet support summarization for any other selected visuals. Okay, I get you. All right. So that's it, guys. So narrative here, in essence, it helps you to just summarize your data, tells you what it's all about. Let me try something here, guys. If I choose my visual country, narrative is supposed to work. It has to work. Okay. Okay, and then I bring my profit under legend here, and then I choose this. Okay, remove the profit from legend, please. Okay, perfect. And then after having selected this visual, then I click narrative now. Perfect. Now I think that it should narrate. Then I click custom. You see? Perfect. This is what I was looking for. You see? So the narrative here helps you analyze your data. So it says at 3 million, France had the highest sum of profit and was 30.04% higher than Mexico, which had the lowest sum of this. Are you seeing now? France accounted for 22 point this sum of profit. It means if you take what France made compared, you will see that you see the difference. Are you getting now? Across all 5 countries, sum of profit range from this to this. So this is a narrative, and this narrative, it's an amazing report that you can also send alongside your visual. Okay, and it becomes very exciting if you have the version of Power BI that you bought from Microsoft. Oh my God, you are going to really enjoy it. They can really go detailedly to really analyze this for you, and you'll be so shocked, especially using Copilot. If you notice, each time I selected Q&A, it was showing me Copilot, and this Q&A also, I think that it can also help us in this data. Yes, if I select this, okay. So Q&A and narrative, the only common after you have created your visual like this, and then now you click your Q&A. So Q&A come now and says, okay, it gives you a question, okay, a suggestion on your visual, okay. It says maximum